This is Chris Lopez, and we are going to look at using Google Classroom's rubrics to communicate with students. For this assignment that I've set up for students, there were two things that I wanted to look at. One was a Nearpod where I just wanted to indicate with them, did you do it and did you fully participate? So I've set up the rubric here so that for the Nearpod that I just want to see if they've worked on it for Elements of Fiction. 100% participation, they get 2 points. If they go in and they work on things but they don't do everything, then 1 point for less than 100% participation. Then the second thing that I have here that I want to look at is this Roots quick check that I have. It's on a Google form, and I'm going to take the grade directly from that Google form and put it onto this rubric. And so when I'm using the rubric, I really love the way that it lights up and really makes it clear then what has been graded, and we can go ahead and look at everything. Now, just because I've entered this information doesn't actually mean that the students automatically see it. So right here where it says that it's a draft, I would then need to return it to the student, and you would be able to go through, and let's say most of the kids have all of the work done. You could then return to multiple students, and so I'll go ahead, I'll grade some more of the rubrics, and then I'll show you what the next step looks like. Because I was filling this out while talking, I made a mistake and wasn't looking at my clipboard where I have all of my grades on. This student actually did not complete the Nearpod, so I do want to clear this out, because even if I go here and I change it to a 0, that doesn't change that there. So, but I can completely clear it, and that brings it to a nothing. But nothing just doesn't really show the student anything. I want it to really highlight for them, hey, you didn't get this done. So I'll give them a 0 as a placeholder here, and then add a note to them and say, please complete it. As I'm going through, I want to leave the notes for anything that students miss as I go through, because otherwise just looking at the grade, I might not know if they just didn't do well on something. So while it's fresh in my mind, I know why this student has a 4 out of 6 instead of a 6 out of 6. I'll send them a private message, and they'd see that message right away, but not the scores. For this assignment, I am not grading any of the slides that I have here for the students. They were more just for us to follow along. So all that I needed was information that I gained from Nearpod and from the Google form to import in here. Now, you can grade students' work even if it's just assigned and they haven't turned it in, as well as students that have been assigned. So I have students here who did not complete either of the activities, and I can let them know that they have not completed both of these activities. But I don't want to send the same message to everyone. So while I've left private messages to everyone who did not complete everything, I do want to return with a positive message all of the students that did complete their work. So everyone who did complete their work, they have a checkbox next to them. I unchecked the students because it automatically checks when you give them a grade. I unchecked the students that I left a private message to already. When I hit return, then I have all of my students that will receive the private message, the positive message, and just give them a little, hey, you did great. And now they'll be able to see the scores on the rubrics, because up until that point, if I logged in as one of those students, they would not see the grade that they had received. So then, since I already left a private message for the other ones, I can return work whether it has been turned in or not. What I can't do is where there's someone who has something missing, it won't let me return something that I have not graded. So when I hit return, it then skips that student that I didn't put grades in for. So I don't need another private comment. I already sent them one, and I can just hit return. And now they will see both the rubric and the private comment together.